Okay, I'm here with Exciting Racing. We got a cold air intake for my 01 Yukon. I pre-assembled the heat shield inside the house just to get it done in the air conditioning. It just has 3 bolts that go right through. Simple bolt-on design. It's got the rubber grommet in the back to keep vibration and noise down. Then it's got this nice little molding across the top of it. First thing we got to do is disconnect our negative terminal on our battery. So this guy here, disconnect that. That was a 8mm wrench, and then we'll use a flathead screwdriver, and we're going to loosen up this. Come over and loosen up this as well. And then there's 4 bolts, 2 on this side and 2 on this side. We'll loosen those up. I've got them already started just to make this go a little quicker so everybody's not just staring at me. Alright, so first thing we'll do is I'm going to pull this little clip right here, pop it back, and then this should slide forward. Just a little pressure. There we go. We got that out of the way. Then we'll come back to where our mass airflow sensor goes into the housing here. There's another band clamp. Loosen it up. Now once that's loose, I'm not going to disconnect the sensor just because there's really no need to. Get this guy in here, just pride it back a little bit, and this will slide back. This will slide up. Now that we got this up out of the way, pull the sensor loose from the housing, and we disconnected the main hose from our mass airflow sensor. And to keep it safe, I'm actually going to pick it up. We're going to set it over here on top of a reservoir. The engine's good and cooled off. It's been sitting here all day. So now we're going to take our box. I've got those 4 bolts loose, so the box just raises right up. We'll set that box to the side, pull our air filter out, and then this box just sits in here with a grommet. Pop it out. Just has this little grommets in the bottom. They just mount right straight down in there. So we'll set that to the side. Now what we'll do is we'll take our heat shield, and this guy is going to sit right in here. But what we're going to have to do is we're going to take this tray up. So just to kind of give you an idea, that back bolt in the corner there, that bolt in top center, and then that bolt right there in the front, those will be utilized to hold that heat shield in place. So while I'm popping that off, you're going to have to hold tight and bear with me. Use the trusty 10mm that everybody loses, 10mm wrench, just to break these guys loose. Now all 5 of these bolts have to come out, so I'm going to set this down while I do that. I'm keeping these bolts separated because some of them are longer than the others. And I want to make sure I put the right bolt back in the right hole, just so I don't have any issues bottoming out. So, once your 5 bolts are out, you get this metal plate. Just going to reach in and pull it right out. And that's going to go in the trash pile, along with this entire assembly that just a waste of plastic. So now we're going to take our new heat shield and set it down here in place, which it may take a little work to get everything worked together. So you get 3 bolt holes that line up, just one right here in the back. You have these 2 over here. So once you get those started, we'll just tighten all 3 of those guys down. We won't have anything else to do in here. This would probably go faster with a ratchet, but I was too lazy to grab one, so I'm using a wrench. Plus, I can't ever find my 10mm sockets, so. Alright, one more. Home stretch. Now the rest of this will go together very simple. Of course, these are really long bolts, so bear with me. Okay, we got those all snugged down so everything's good and sturdy. Everything's in place, so that should look really nice when it's done. Now our silicone boot, looking at the boot, there's a short side and a long side. The short side being up here near my thumb, and that side right there is longer. So the short side actually is what goes into the intake. So we're going to grab two of our band clamps. First we're going to put over top of the short side. And I always want to try to position these where you can get to them easily. It's hard to do this holding a camera, but there we go. So, got our band clamp on. Just going to go right over top of the intake. And once you have it in position, gently tighten it down. We'll have to make some adjustments here and there just to get everything lined up and fitting properly. But this is a super easy install, and it's money well spent. Now when you set this up on the motor, again, don't tighten the band clamp down. Leave it kind of in an upward position. So let me back up so you get a little better view. That's the upward position that you want to have, because our intake pipe, our charge pipe, is this guy. Got a nice long elbow on it. He's going to sit underneath this pipe, but he'll be over top of this pipe once we get him in place. So what we're going to do is we're just going to set this down here to the side. And this massive filter barely fits inside the box. It's huge. So we're just going to kind of set it there. Grab my other band clamps and my connection hub. So the big band clamp that comes with the kit, it actually goes over this housing for the filter. So we'll go ahead and just set it on. That way it'll be ready to go. That's actually what helps hold this filter to this assembly. And we can go ahead and tighten it down, because I don't plan on taking the filter loose from that assembly. That assembly is what helps hold your mass airflow meter to the cold air intake. Everything just kind of necks down to it. So it uses the factory mass airflow meter on this cold air intake. There's no computer adjustments required. Simply bolt in and drive it down the road. There's no other alterations necessary for this install. So get that band clamp on nice and tight, the big one. So it's on my filter, we're good to go there. The mass airflow meter only goes a certain way. The part with the mesh screen faces the filter. So that's critical that you have it pointed the right direction. You don't want airflow in the wrong direction across a mass airflow meter. That would cause chaotic readings for your sensor and cause some engine running issues. So just slide it right over top of the cone filter housing, and then that band clamp right there, we're going to cinch it down, get it good and tight. We don't want this coming off or moving or anything. We want a nice tight seal for all of our air. That way any air coming into my motor is coming from the filter. We don't want nothing sucking in through any cracks or crevices anywhere. If you're like me, you got some miles on your vehicle, you want to put quite a few more, so the better we can take care of it, the happier all of us will be. So once that is in place, next thing that goes in place is this silicone boot. It goes on the end of this and connects to the back of the sensor. Make sure you put your band clamps on before you start trying to assemble anything, that way you don't forget. You need 2 band clamps, 1 for each side. So to make life easier, I'm going to put it on the new stainless pipe that we have here. And it is snug, so you're going to have to kind of work it on there. It goes on easily once you get it. You just got to get it over that little hump to begin with. And again, don't forget your clamps. The first clamp, I always tighten it down. Just go ahead and put it on the pipe side and tighten it down on that silicone boot. That'll hold it in place so it doesn't wiggle or twist around on you. You want to split the difference of the boot. The boot is about 2.5 to 3 inches wide, but you want to give about half of that space to the pipe. So about half that space. We still got half the boot there to go to this connection here. So now you gotta just kind of wiggle things around, finagle it a little bit, but it will go together. It just takes a little effort to get everything lined up correctly. This is where you don't want to rush, just take your time. Because the more you get in a hurry, the more mistakes will be made. And the more aggravated you'll be in 90-degree weather. So, I try to avoid that. Again, I can't stress enough, don't forget your band clamps, because you don't want to get this thing together and then realize you don't have your band clamps on the pipe already. Because then you got to take it all back apart and get everything lined back up again. Makes for a really rough day. So, get all this slid together. And once you get it slid together, tighten up the remaining band clamps, but don't put them real tight. Just get them snug. That way you got some room to work. But if you get them snug, they're not going to move around with you a whole lot. You'll actually have to make it move, which is what we want. We don't want it to accidentally slide or move or reposition. We want everything to kind of stay in place until we're ready for it not to move. So, that's roughly the charge pipe. And again, this is just rough. I haven't got it lined up on the bottom yet. So let me try to get this repositioned a little bit. Once you get everything positioned, you can tighten up all your band clamps. Keep everything from moving around on you. Again, make sure all the band clamps are tight. You don't want this wiggling around and letting air suck into your vehicle other than what's coming straight through that filter, because you want clean air going in, and plus you don't want to bypass that mass airflow meter, because anytime that's bypassed, you're not getting an accurate reading on how much air is going into your motor, which will cause drivability issues. You will get a slight horsepower gain out of this kit. I'm not sure, I haven't put it on a dyno. This is a daily driver, it's not really a race car. So I haven't put it on a dyno. But once it's complete, this is what you have. You have your mass airflow meter. Got that nice cone filter there. And it's got a straight shot to the outside. That is the ground straight down. That's the concrete below. So you got nice cold air intake right there, sucking up the cold air. Got your little clip popped in here. Everything's tight and snug. Nothing's moving around, wiggling. It's got rubber gasket on there just to keep it nice and quiet going down the road, no vibration. And you're all set to go. Again, a big shout out to Exciting Racing for all your car, truck, and SUV performance needs. If you need anything, any kind of parts, hit them up. They got an eBay store open 24/7, quick response, and great customer service. Give us a call.